She went to school to be an actor, not a dancer.
I live in Ohio with my sister Sarah, who is younger than I am, though she's married and has 2 children. I suppose I should really have been the younger sister because Sarah's quite the older sister type, and I'm afraid, am, well, shy and unattractive. It's quite a large city we live in, but I'm lonely, terribly lonely. Sometimes I think you can be lonelier in a large city than anywhere else in the world, and the awful, wasteful, unnecessary part of it is that all around are thousands and thousands of other people just as lonely as you are. If you only knew how to reach out to them. I suppose that's why I started reading the women's pages of the newspapers, these columns where people tell their troubles and ask for advice. And from that, it was only a step to poring over the personal columns and trying to understand the stories that lie behind those pathetic few lines signed Ms. Gunderson and Ruth and Mother.
I think it's silly and undignified.
No, it isn't, Sarah. It's interesting.
Prying into other people's affairs?
Oh, no, Sarah. I just like to try to sort of make up stories to go with the little ads. Look, here's a girl in Kansas who says...
for heaven's sake, Helen.
Well, she says
I'm not interested in her problems out in Kansas. We got enough of our own here. The mending and
I'll help you with the mending, Sarah.
Well, I wish you would. And with the youngsters.
How long does it take mail to get to South America?
What?
Listen. Who will have pity on a lonely young American? Oh, listen, Sarah. A lonely young American mining engineer in the jungles of South America. I am dying of boredom. Please, somebody write to me. Richard Marshall, General Delivery, Montaluna, Venezuela.
You are not going to start writing to these people now, are you? For goodness sake.
Oh, Sarah, can't you understand? You've got all your married friends, your bridge club, Albert and the kids. You've got dozens of things to keep you busy and occupied, but I haven't. And I'm lonely.
Well, even so, you're hardly in a position where you need to write to perfect strangers. You're not going to write to him, Helen.
No, I guess not, Sarah. October 20th. Dear Mr. Marshall, I'm going to write to you, and perhaps I'll write to you again if you send me a nice letter in return. Life in Ohio is really boring, Mr. Marshall, and I can't understand anyone being bored in South America. Please tell me about it. Would I like it there? And tell me about yourself, too. Very truly yours, Helen. Oh, heavens no, I don't dare sign my own name. What would be a good name? Betty. Very truly yours, Betty Wilson.
Montaluna, Venezuela, November 9th. Dear Miss Wilson, I'm 22 years old and working on my first engineering job. I'm sure I won't be so bored with South America if I can look forward to regular letters from you. It'd be very nice if you send me your photograph. We're going farther into the interior on an oil survey soon, and it'd be nice to have a picture of my friend to take along with me. Please don't forget, and thank you. Yours truly, Richard Marshall.
January 22nd. Dearest Richard. Dear Richard. Enclosed is a picture of me that was taken when I graduated from high school. I warn you, it flatters me. At present, I'm living with my Aunt Helen. She wants me to marry a wealthy young man in the flour milling business, but I don't want to. Haven't I been good to send you my picture right away? Now you must send me yours. Please give my regards to the mango trees, the boa constrictors, and the pampas. You see, I've been doing quite a lot of reading up on South America. With fondest regards, Betty.
Maltaluna, Venezuela, March 13th. Betty, dear, it's been almost 6 months that we've been writing each other, and I feel that I know you better from your dear letters than I've known any other girl. Betty, you must not marry that boy in the flower business. Please wait at least till I can come back to the States. I'm sending my picture, taken alongside one of our oil wells. Betty, dearest, if you love someone else, my heart will be broken. You are all I ever think of. Please say that you love me a little and that I have a chance. Yours forever, Richard.
April 20th. Darling Richard, I know that I love you. I'm sure that I do. I think. I wish you were here.
May 21st. Betty, darling, I'm coming home. There's a little bit more survey work on one of our oil wells to do, but it'll be finished in about a week, and then I'll be leaving. For the first time, we'll see each other, Betty. Darling, last week I picked out something that I thought you'd like. It's an engagement ring, and I will have it in my pocket when I see you. By the way, my favorite uncle, Mr. Albert Marshall, who's been knocking about South America for 4 years, is also on his way back home.
And he'll probably get you as soon as this letter. Darling, your aunt surely can't stop us from getting married, will she? Until I see you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Your Richard. Helen, what on earth does this mean?
Well, Sarah, I've been meaning to tell you, but...
Is this the man in South America from the personal column?
Well, yes, but...
Oh, Helen.
I know. I've been writing to him ever since last November, and we wrote oftener and oftener. And one thing led to another, and the first thing I knew...
He was in love with you.
He's not really in love with me, Sarah. I invented a girl named Betty Wilson. I was afraid to use my own name. And Betty's the one he's in love with.
And he wants to marry her.
And she's me. Oh, Sarah, what'll I do?
Well, Helen, I didn't think you had it in you. How old does he think you are?
20.
And you've been teaching school for 14 years.
15 in September.
And you're 3 years older than me.
You're 33. Oh, but Sarah, what'll I do? I never thought anything had come of those letters, and now he'll be here.
Practically any day.
Oh, Sarah.
Well, you got yourself into this. You'll have to get yourself out.
But I...
You told him that your aunt's name was Helen?
Yes.
Well, all I can think of is maybe you could tell him your niece Betty went off and got married to that boy in whatever it is business.
Oh, Sarah, that's it. Maybe it'll work. Maybe if I were to tell his Albert when he comes...
Well, but I was looking for Miss Betty Wilson.
Oh, I'm her aunt.
Isn't she here? I had a message for her from South America.
Well, I'm sorry. Betty was married 2 weeks ago.
Married? Oh, but that's impossible. Why, they loved each other. She told him she loved him.
You're Albert Marshall, then.
Did you force her to marry that flour mill man?
What? Oh, no. Won't you come in, please?
Well,
Won't you sit down?
thank you.
I'm terribly sorry about Betty.
My nephew will be sorry, too.
Is he so very much in love with her?
Very much, indeed.
He wrote such lovely letters.
You saw them?
Yes. Mr. Marshall, can I trust you?
What? Wow, yes, of course. But why?
Mr. Marshall, there never was any Betty Wilson.
What?
I wrote those letters to your nephew, Mr. Marshall.
You wrote them?
Mr. Marshall, well, you're a man of my age. You understand, I know. I was lonely. I felt I had to have a friend. I didn't mean any harm, but I got in so deep with Richard that I couldn't find a way out.
So that's why you said Betty was married?
It was the only way out I could think of, Mr. Marshall. I do wish I could help Richard in some way, but I've made a dreadful mess of things.
Yes. Poor Richard.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Marshall. If I could only help him in some way.
Yes, well, perhaps you could help him.
Oh, I'll do anything, Mr. Marshall.
I'll do my best to explain it to him, but look here. I think you better have dinner with me tonight, and we'll talk it over.
Well, that was 3 months ago. We sat and talked of America and Ohio farmland and everything in the world except Albert's nephew, Richard. And when I told Sarah about it, she complimented me. She was sure the whole thing was over, but it wasn't. Albert called me up the next week to tell me that he'd had a cable from his nephew in South America saying that he had decided to remain there, and would he please explain to me? Well, 3 months is a long time, and Albert and I got better and better acquainted. Oh, here he comes now. Would you like to come with us?
I hope I'm not too late, Helen.
Why, Albert, you look wonderful.
Oh, thought the hat might be a little skittish for an old man. But it's all right for the occasion.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Where do we go?
Oh, right around the corner. There. See the window?
Mm-hmm. Excited?
A little. You?
Well.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like to apply for
A marriage license.
Why? How could you tell?
Mister, I've been here 19 years. Lady first. Name, occupation, and age.
Helen Wilson, school teacher, age 36.
All right. You, mister? Name?
Richard Marshall.
Richard Marshall?
Helen, dear, I should have told you this before. I should have told you that day when I first called, when you were so honest with me.
But
I started the same way you did. Helen, I was lonely too. And a young man, mining engineer, sounded a lot better than a middle-aged toy salesman.
Occupation? Toy salesman?
but the photograph.
Oh, I bought it right off a photographer's window, darling. And then I invented an uncle so I could come and see you.
I see.
Helen, does it really make any difference? Because if it does...
Of course it makes a difference, Albert. Now I've got to get used to calling you Richard all over again.
And so, they lived happily ever after, even if they couldn't remember each other's names.
Yes?
That was the funniest thing ever.
Thank
Aw, we have a fan.
you. Yeah. Okay.
It's never good though when your fans call you mom.